This call is now being recorded.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, Sungray.
Yes, what's going on with you? Something else?
Okay. Alchemy of Souls Part 2 is confusing as look. I had an issue with Part 1 that I thought I figured out. Then Part 2 started, and I don't know what's going on.
Ma'am, let me tell you. I
Okay,
did. I loved episodes. I loved season 1. I really did. And I was super excited for season 2. But when I tell you, I've been talking to a few K-drama friends, and everybody seems to be a bit confused. This whole Naksu / Bo Young, whoever she is, or you, Jesus, I'm tearing her name up, so please forgive me, friends. Please forgive me. But you
That's
know
what I
the
normally
Naksu.
do.
The Naksu character. I'm not understanding how. Okay, so let me just break it down. From what I've gathered, I've understood. I am going to refer you all by way of, I don't even know how I came across it. Someone may have shared it and I just happened to click on it. And I read her blog yesterday and it kind of helped break down some stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. So there's a group. Yeah, there's a group, and, you know, I hope they don't mind us mentioning them, Bitches Over Dramas. I love it.
Oh,
I love
that's
their
a nice
concept. I know, right? I love it. I love their concept. But she did a post and broke down the whole concept of Cho Young's body and how that whole thing worked out, and it made me better understand it. Now, all I can say is that at the end, when Mudoki jumped into the river, she was saying, and based upon some information that was given from that episode, she and Naksu shared that space, that body. So the body is a vessel at this point. They shared that space. And Naksu got caught up when old boy, the crazy one, girl, and there's a meme going around that has me hollering, but I'll tell you about that later. But any which way, when old boy, the crazy one who was working with the queen, the fake queens, he blew the whistle, and that's what made her jump, is what she was sharing. In which case, at that point, the mother, and there's a scene in, I believe it's episode 2 of season 2, is where you have Master Lee and Lady Jin, the mother of the two girls, over Jin. Right. What is the name of her? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So Jin Woo, I don't know how to properly say the name of that family. So she basically was saying in so many words, it's Jin Woo, Jin something, that family. But that mom, she and him were having a conversation. Okay. And in so many words, he explained that when you chose to pull your daughter, this body out of this vessel, out of the water, in order for this to work, I told you had to make a choice. And so it was kind of like he did the whole king, if you all know the Bible at all. I'm just going to use it because it worked, and it made me go, oh, I get it. The whole concept of in the Bible where they sit, where you have King David, who had the mothers come before him, and they were trying to decide whose baby it was, and the one who said, don't kill the baby, that was the real mother. Well, so it's that concept where he basically told her, you either have to choose having your daughter's body or having her soul. Which one do you want? And when he made her choose, because she wanted to have the power and she wanted to make sure that the body, the vessel of her daughter lived, because she wanted the bloodline to reproduce, she chose Naksu's spirit because that was the spirit that was going to hold on and that was the spirit that was going to survive. So in which case, I agree. But he proceeded to tell her when this happens and as she starts to regenerate, because Naksu's spirit is the one that's pushing in, she's going to start looking like Naksu. So in so many words, I'm going, y'all regenerated Naksu. You didn't regenerate Bu Young or Mudoki. You regenerated Naksu. But here's where my problem lies with all of this shenanigans.
I don't understand. Wait. See, you gave too much information. Hold on to that. Please. That was my confusion, because part 1, I understood that both women were in the water. And I have one of my biggest pet peeves with Alchemy of Soul is how much they disrespected Blind Girl. That's what I call her, Blind Girl. How much they disrespected Blind Girl. Basically, chick shows up. She's trying to live her best life, given her limitations. Bless her heart. She's going to get a new job, girl. She's starting her new life. And then they basically steal her damn body and drop her in some water. And then they don't even talk about her ass again. It's like they go, okay, we're using your body, deuces. Like, until like the later episodes of part 1, I didn't even know that she was still around. I was like, they just did her dirty. That's one of the reasons I didn't like the assassin. Because I was like, you did the blind girl dirty. That's not cool. So then I was like, okay, there's a chance she might come back one day. I understood the actresses were going to do a switcheroo, and I got all that. Then we get episode 1, and they bring back the assassin. So I'm like, where the hell is Blind Girl? Like, y'all just, for real, just dumped Blind Girl to the side for real? Like, it's official?
Pretty much. I mean, because Master Lee told the mother that in order for her to save the body, she had to choose. And she chose the body as opposed to choosing her daughter's soul.
But see, that doesn't make sense either. If she chose the body of her daughter, then she should have had Madoki's body, right? She should have had the other.
You missed me. So I'm going to read word for word. Master Lee says she's recovering using Noxu's energy. As the energy flows in her face and she starts looking human again, her features will slowly resemble those of Noxu's. The body and the soul must be one for her not to run wild.
Okay.
And those are from the Netflix translation. So anybody saying, oh, that's not what he said, I'm telling you what Netflix typed on the screen. That's what Netflix said. Go ahead.
So that's my thing. If the mother just wants a strong body, I get why she wants Noxu. But does she want a strong body, or does she want her
She wants a strong body because she is trying to reproduce. Keep in mind, all Lady Jin is trying to do is make sure that she has an heir in order to continue Jinwoo running what they've been running and keeping all those relics.
Okay. So basically it's like, okay, I could have my real daughter's body, but the body won't produce an heir. Or I can have, like, basically a chick on the street, but she's strong. So she might as well have used her younger daughter's body, because she's just basically using the body of a chick from the street. I mean, no,
it's her daughter's body, quote unquote. The vessel is Mudogi's vessel, but the soul in the vessel is Noxu.
No, that don't make no sense. Okay,
that's what happened.
No sense. See, and so then I rebuke that logic. Mind you, I don't even love the show like that. Like, you really love the show, right? And I'm assuming that anyone who writes about the show really enjoys the show and they're seeing something. But it doesn't make logical sense.
All she cared about, obviously, if she were a real mother and really had the earnings and yearnings of a mother, she'd want Mudogi's soul. But she didn't. Well, Junbyeon, since that's the name she gave her. But she would want Byeon's soul. But she didn't. She wanted her body because she wanted the powers, the divine powers that came with her daughter's body. So I'm going to read some more from Netflix. She said, but she has no power. This is Lady Jin, but she has no power. My daughter used to handle relics inside of Jinwon as if they were her toys. Does this mean she lost her divine powers? Master Lee says, Buyong's body has no divine powers and Noxu's soul has no memory, so the body and soul do not conflict. If she regains her powers, Noxu's memory will likely follow. Can you bear that? She said, I would rather have her stay that way without the powers because, in so many words, she wants the body so that she can reproduce an heir. She wants the bloodline to be reproduced.
Girl, that's what I'm saying. What you read to me didn't help. This is what may help me understand. And this is my question to you. Maybe what they should have done with part 2 was they should have had Young So Min play that role and then transform, like CGI magic transform into the new actress. Because if she wants her daughter's body, I need to see that. What I'm seeing is new chick. What I'm seeing is assassin chick. That's throwing me off. If she's like, I want her body, and I know that she might, and the stronger soul is in that body, I need to see Young So Min's body, at least in the beginning, and then have it transform into new chick, and then it will make sense to me. I think that's my malfunction. If she's talking about she wants her daughter's body, I need to see her daughter's body. Her daughter's body is blind chick. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, I hear you, but because they explained it, it made sense to me. I get that. That part's not what's throwing me off. What's throwing me off?
Me the heck off.
What's throwing me off is that you're going to tell me we saw in season 1 where Naksu fought with many people who were people we see now, and none of them recognize her, except for old boy who's the head. In my mind, he's a demon slayer. Not even a demon slayer. He's a demon creator because he's the one so busy creating all these.
You mean frosted
Alchemy Soul?
Frosted hair? You mean
yes.
dude with frosted hair?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a mess.
So he's the only one who recognized that was Naksu's body. Nobody else sees that. Now
But
I
that's
know
what I'm
that.
saying.
I know that James
Yes.
I know he never saw Naksu, so he didn't know who Naksu was. That's fine with me. But then old boy who is his homeboy, the one who went off to the Who went off to the forest and came back with his uncle.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
The one who got the worm in his body.
Did he?
Girl, yes. Because remember, at the end of the last one, they even showed it in episode 1 of the part 2. Chick was trying to save his life, so she shared her blood with him, dripped her blood into him, and that worm went into his body. So in my head, he's the dude with the worm. He's like a ticking time bomb. I'm waiting for his shit to go off.
Suyo, him. So when he met her, I'm not sure, and he asked her, and this is in episode 2, and I know we were doing 1, but I couldn't help myself, I watched 2. He asked her, do I know you? And she said, no, I've been locked up this whole time. There's no way you could know who I am. But that's because she has no memory of any of what took place in season 1. So with that, I'm having a problem with why don't people recognize her who saw her and who fought with her? That's my issue. The people who saw and fought with her, y'all should know that's automatically, that's Naksu.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The thing you mentioned is very obvious because she was infamous, right? She's this infamous assassin that they were all low-key scared of, chasing down in the middle of a, open, snowy area. They're having big fights with this chick, and now no one can recognize her as. I think that they messed up. I'm just going to say it. I'm saying it based on my high level of ignorance about this whole process. They messed up because they should have handled that transfer way better. They should have handled the reality of if they had her. It's just so messy. Their story is so messy now because I can understand why they want to, if her body was still Madoki's body, then they would recognize her to have a problem with her, right? So they can't do that. And they can't have that because that takes them down another lane. So they have to put her in a new body so that she can be anonymous, if you will. But Chick could never have been anonymous. They were chasing her down the streets before she found blind Chick to jump into.
Mm-hmm.
They caught themselves up. That's a hole. That's just an obvious hole in the story because that's why it frustrates me.
I mean, it's episode 2. It's only 2 episodes, so that's the only reason I think I'm willing to kind of sit back and hopefully it makes sense. Now, we get to episode 4, 5, 6, and it's still sounding wonky and ain't nobody made it make more sense than this, then yeah, I'm going to be a little pissed off. But I'm giving that maybe this is part of the, what do you call it, mystique and smoke that you're trying to throw us, I don't know.
Well, see, that's because this is your type of drama, number one.
It is.
And number two, I don't know if I have that same level of patience, but I think what they're trying to do is replace some of this confusion and some of the holes in their plot with cuteness. Like at the end of episode 1, it was super cute, overdone, but super cute to see her run into his arms, right? Like they've kind of made him a hard ass now. He's broken. He's a hard ass. He has Rafe following him around. He has no friends. No one wants to sit near him. They leave when he shows up. They've turned him to a badass, right? The badass he really even wasn't first in part 1, right? Because he was kind of like the spoiled prince in part 1. In part 2, he's like kicking ass, taking names, doing all that stuff. And then here she is, young and winsome, and I don't even know, man, like, I know you're pretty or you're beautiful or whatever, but that's a lot of confidence to roll up on dude like, let's get married. Like, I was like, okay. So I think they're trying to replace some of the confusion with just over-the-top romance. Like, you tell me, because you've seen episode 2, is that what you're seeing in their interactions with each other?
Not at all.
Really?
Say it again.
I said, I'm not saying that he's supposed to be in love with her right away. I'm saying that they're going back to that kind of cutesy enemies to lovers type scenario. Like it's going back to infusing some level of romantic.
You watch episode 2 and then tell me what you think, because I see it, but not like that. I'm not seeing it as a cutesy replacement. I'm seeing it as they had to figure a way to get these two intertwined in order for the mother's words, Miss Kim, was that even if her and Django see each other, they wouldn't know each other and it wouldn't be an issue. Okay, obviously that didn't work because they've seen each other, and because she, was being and the eggy or whatever, she got him to agree to come and save her. As they keep going on, that's not kind of what you're seeing happen. But again, it's 2 episodes, so I'm again saying I'm willing and invested enough to continue on down the road to see what else is going to happen. But like episode 2, you're not seeing a lot of that. That's not really. She gets sick. He does help her when she's sick. But it, I don't know. You watch and tell me what you think.
Okay, yeah, because I watch and read romances, and I can see the little places where they add, okay, this is enemies to lovers element. Okay, she's showing him that he can depend on her. Like, I can see those kind of things put in place so that when they do fall in love, when they do turn to each other, it's like, oh, okay, it's easy for the audience to accept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because technically, she could have found any man on the street, but how they meet in her prison is a meet cute. He just so happens to go down the stairs and find her. Like, come on, son. Like, I feel bad for Blind Girl. That's all I'm saying. Like, who's going to look out for Blind Girl? Because her soul is gone. Her body can't even be in part 2. They're referencing this chick, but we don't see her.
Well, she is going to make a guest appearance, so that I'm not worried about. We'll see her, but I don't know in what respects or when. But she is listed as a guest role.
Maybe it's a guest role. No, I'm not. I can't even speculate.
Yeah,
I just feel like
I'm not even going to attempt.
Right. I feel like it's just disrespectful. Let me just speak on this. You don't have to agree with me. Maybe you will. But from the very beginning, they have disrespected this chick. She walking down the street trying to, live her best life. Someone steals her damn body. Steals her life. Then you find out there's more to this chick than just she a blind girl. And the assassin steals that too. I don't like the assassin. Can I say that? Even when I started to like the assassin, because I liked that there was a romance, I don't like the assassin. I don't like that they just completely erase the person whose body they take. I don't like that. I don't think that's a nice, like, there's nothing about the assassin that's going to make up for the fact that she stole somebody's body and never made it right.
In so many words, she never stole it. No. I want you to open your mind. If you stop and think about it, in every other alchemy switch, there were no sharing of bodies.
Right. Because
one person was completely, exactly. But the reason they were able to share a space was because she was a priestess. She already had powers. And so her ability, I guess, to maneuver or whatever, she still existed. She was there.
Right. So that gave me hope. But let's be clear. The assassin likes to steal bodies. To me, she's a villain. Not a villain just because she's the assassin.
I'm not giving the assassin any room. I'm just simply saying in this situation, it was already different because these two were able to share a space. And then at this point, the rebirthing of Naksu, that came from Master Lee. That wasn't the assassin. She was stuck in that space just like Madogi was stuck in that space.
I understand that she was stuck in it. What I'm saying is I don't think that she's worthy of having love with dude. I don't
either. I'm not interested in that love line by a long shot, but moving on.
See, that was what held me watching part one. Because I'm not, like, I didn't like any of the characters initially. I mean, I liked the, supporting characters, but I didn't like the couple initially. That's why it was hard for me to watch. Because I was like, he's spoiled. He's running around thinking he's owed something. Dude, like, this is what got me about him. Okay, sir, you were running from place to place like a little kid going, will you be my friend? Except he's saying, will you be my master? Okay, fine. But you got to read a book and learn some stuff so that by the time you did have some powers, you knew something? Because when he got his powers, guess what happened? He had to start from scratch because he ain't never read a book. I was like, what kind of spoiled am I for you, sir? Like, you are super entitled, super privileged. So I was like, okay, I like the actor, even though I don't like the role. Fine. Then I looked at the assassin. Okay, so she's still embodied. It's what it is. At first, because of how it went down, I think I didn't know that, like, Blind Chick was still in there, right? So I was like, damn, he's spoiled and she's a thief on top of a killer. But then I kind of understood where she was coming from because of how she had been raised. Like, she had a fractured childhood because she lost her family and she was on this revenge quest. Like, they started to make it make sense to me, right? Then when I realized, Blind Chick is still floating around in there. In my head, I was like, even if they do switcheroos and all this stuff, at some point they'll do right by Blind Chick. At some point, she'll get her body back. I don't know what they're doing. And it's a mess. And it's confusing. And I don't need it to be super straightforward, but I need y'all to, like, how better. Wait a minute. It's the Hong sisters. There's no damn excuse. Come on.
And that's what somebody said. The Hong sisters, this is not not how they usually roll. Now, for me, I don't pay attention to directors that deeply, so, like, I can't tell you. I'm going to say I know I've liked most of the works that the Hong sisters have put out.
Right.
However, I believe that most of the works I've seen have lots of curves and details and things happening because aren't they also responsible for the King de Luna? It was Hotel de Luna. What else?
A Korean Odyssey. I saw Master Sun. Big. My girlfriend is a Gumio. You're beautiful.
And see, I've seen all of those except for Big. I haven't seen Big, right. But I've seen all the rest of what you listed.
Yeah, it's like I was reading off the ones that I think I've seen. But yeah, that's the thing. Hong sisters, one way or the other, either because you've watched their dramas or because they are well known in the industry, right? So you're expecting not to say that there shouldn't be twists and turns or that it can't be a little bit confusing. But I feel like this is excessive. It's excessive, and I think the only reason it plays so well is they have stellar actors in place and because it's on Netflix.
Well, of course, the Netflix part helps, but I think that season 1, regardless of the Netflix aspect or not, people enjoyed it.
No, it was hard going for me until maybe, excuse me, you guys, excuse me, Feng Rei. I think it was hard. It was hard going for me until maybe episode 5, and it was a testament to my respect for you and how much you loved it. And you were like, I love this drama. And I was like, I know it's hot. Let me at least watch a little bit of it. And it took a while for me to warm up to it. Their romance helped a lot for me to warm up to it. It helped a lot when he got some power and he had to then relearn and claim his spot. So it was kind of like Karate Kid. So that's when I kind of got with it. But part 2, it's too convoluted. And there's some simple fixes that could have helped. Or maybe they painted themselves in a corner and they didn't know how to get themselves out. Because maybe by the time they got to part 2, they realized, you know what? We should have had the assassin wear a mask. That way, no one would recognize us. Simple thought, right?
Well, I don't think at the time they were thinking part 2. However, I'm going to say, while we're bashing the assassin, though, if we stop and think about it, that's who Jungkook fell in love with in episode 1 anyway.
Right.
It was not Mudogi. So that's kind of why I'm going, I hear you. I guess I understand. I'm not feeling this love line either, but it's the same woman.
And see, when I walked into episode 1, that was the only thing I counted on. I counted on the fact that she had lost her memory and that she was the same woman. And so it was a continuation of their love story, right? Just twists and turns. That's what I was happy to accept. But when you start having folks talking about who she really is physically, that throws me off. I'm like, I understand if he doesn't recognize her if she's in a different body, but technically she's not supposed to be. She's supposed to be in Blind Chick's body, right?
Yeah, she is.
Right. So that's my thing. That's why they switched it to her. Because if they had her in Blind Chick's body, he would have recognized his quote unquote love.
And that's the whole reason why it couldn't be. I get that part. That part's not throwing me off. It couldn't be her body, her physical body, because if it were her physical body, a physical vessel, then that means for me, he immediately is going to fall for her and he immediately is going to want to continue where they left off and try and get her to remember. He has to not know who she is in order for him to begin to learn, hold it, wait a minute, you're doing all the stuff that old girl used to do. But that's my problem, is that Naksu that we see now, the chick that we see now, doesn't act like Mudogi.
Well, see, okay, so this is where my theory's going to come in versus the folks, the great folks whose, theories you read. I think that the mother wanted strength, of course, over just her daughter's body. So she took...
I'm telling you, episode 2 tells you flat out she wants to continue the bloodline. She is trying to produce an heir to be able to run Jin Yuan, whatever the name of that their clan thing is. She is trying to produce an heir. And in order to produce an heir, it has to be her child's blood. Even if it's not her child's spirit, it has to be her blood. So she was willing to take anything if it meant I get to keep using this bloodline to continue my family.
Then they did a bad job of doing that physical transition. Let's just go with that. They just did a piss poor job at doing the transition, especially if the transition was supposed to be as time goes on. You see, she physically transforms into the assassin, right?
They did a flashback. in episode. You got to get to episode 2. That's all I can tell you.
That's why I didn't want to talk to you
flashback.
about episode 2.
I'm sorry. I could not help myself. I
know.
My show, I couldn't help it.
Now you have to suffer with my ignorance, and you got to straddle 2 worlds until I get to episode 2 or episode 3 or whatever we talk about next, because that's what I'm saying. I can't. This show is getting on my nerves, and there's so many other shows.
After one episode, that is hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's getting on my nerves because if she's like, I need the bloodline, then she needs Madoki's body, right?
She has it. You want to see Jung So Min. That's the end of the story.
Yes.
You want to see the actress that you saw before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't want to see. I'm sick of it. I'm gonna scream it to the rooftops. I don't care if y'all like, I'm tired of her saying that over and over again. I'm sticking with it. I want to see that transformation. Then it makes everything clear to me, because I'm like, and then it also doesn't make everything clear to me, because following that line, let's say that's what they did. The minute she takes over, then she switches, her body changes, so then she doesn't have someone of her bloodline anyway.
She does. She says physical appearance, not DNA change. Physical appearance change to match the soul that's there. That's what the Master Lee told her.
Girl, physical appearance. So you telling me it's magic versus genetics? Come on, man.
Pretty much.
Come on, man.
It's fantasy. Shit, they can go anywhere they want to go with this.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If we got to talk about magic versus genetics,
there's
a whole bunch of BS.
Hold it. Pause for the cause. I am hollering and laughing because you guys, if you've been with us for years, if you know us, you know I am usually the one who is struggling with suspension of disbelief. But here we have something else struggling with the suspension of disbelief, and Songray is cool with it. This is hilarious. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Girl. Yeah, no. That's how jacked up it is. We're in Bizzaro land now, because that's what it's taking us to. It's taking us to Bizzaro land, where up is down and down is up. Okay, so now magically,
Stranger Things. Go ahead.
Right. So magically, she is, she is visually something else, but genetically, she's her mother's daughter. I'll be all right. Don't think about this once you get off the phone. Let it go. I rebuke thee in the name of my own. I must retain bits of myself so that I can watch K-dramas for another day. This is a mess. You know what? If this were somebody's first drama, I pity them. I pity them.
Yeah, no one should start off with this. This is not a starter drama. I'm sorry. This is not a starter drama.
This is not a starter drama at all. Oh, anyway, so we have had the conversation. Anything you want to say about 1 and 2, and I'll say about 1 before we just drop this.
Above all, I'm just going to say, I've said it before, but I'm going to repeat. I'm willing to stick it out to see where they take us, to see what roads we're getting ready to go down. I watched the previews, but none of it stuck in my head. I just kind of want to see how are they going to play this out. And for Silverhair, because we just going to call him the silver-haired fox. The silver-haired fox is...
He don't deserve that. Wait. He don't deserve that name, because that makes him sound like he might be sexy, girl. No, he's Mr. Frosty, okay? He has frosty hair. He is Mr. Frosty, okay?
Fine.
Do not give him Silver Fox. No, he is no pull that back. He is none of that. He is Mr. Frosty. Go on, Ram. Go on.
Mr. Frosty. I am still trying to figure out how in the hell is he still in a position to do shit? Why did he not get killed? Why is he not exiled? Why is he not in hiding? Why is he not in some corner cave trying to figure his way out. How the fuck did he get back in the face of the king, the queen, and the prince? I don't understand.
It makes sense.
You
know why it makes sense? It makes sense if you've ever been involved in office politics, because you see the most conniving people win. You see folks who really, they aren't the hardest workers. All they do is kiss ass. They are right next to leadership. They make those moves. They're like, they got their PhD in office politics and getting over. Those people typically can win. It's not fair. It's just what happens. That's why he's still there. Because he's not doing it. It's not hard work. It's not because he has a clean heart or he has a higher calling, like he's doing it for misguided reasons. It's pure greed, right? He's your typical villain. You'd like to think that they're, like, if it were a different type of show, there would be some kind of deeper motivation for him other than greed and power, but it's typical. We see it in present day. We see it all around us, especially if you're in the workplace. I don't know about your workplace, but I've seen that.
Nah, in my workplace, you see some stuff like that, but not quite to that degree. So I'm going to defer back to earlier when I said the meme. So it's actually a TikTok, but meme is where I'm rolling with this, where you see he's in a boat and the boat is flowing and somebody said, Mr. Frosty on his way to figure out how to fuck with us for the next 5 weeks. Yeah, that's where we're going, because I'm like, he has already gotten started. He is already trying to maneuver and figure shit out and figure out how to get this. I'm going, already? Damn it, it's episode 2 already. Can you sit down somewhere, please, for 2 minutes and let us at least get the story together before you come in with your bullshit? Nope, he here with his bullshit already.
Well, see, I mean, it makes sense because the thing that saved his reputation in part was that he, like, used the little chimes to control Madoki, right? So he could go back to the family and say to the king and queen and pretty much go, see, I told you this is how it was, and they believe him, right? And he is a constant villain. But, like, dude with the worm in his body, you know, wormy guy. Wormy guy is wrong, but you know he got something. He's going to be a villain because you can see from some of the posters that he's going to start turning into like either a zombie or whatever it is. He's going to start turning. He's going to be potentially a bad guy. You had Mr. Frosty as a constant, and you had other negative folks kind of in there. He was like the downbeat, they were the upbeat, right? So I think it's going to be the same thing. He can't be the only villain. He just can't.
Not in this story, yes, too many.
Right. I don't know. You're excited and you're committed, and I applaud you for that. I'm committed to speed watching. That's what I'm committed to. I'm going to speed watch the hell out of it. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not committed to, like, real contemplation, because I don't know if this show deserves that when they're giving me these kinds of plot holes. Like, you're getting it from me now, but I don't think you'll get that from me again.
Well, I'm going to ask you to watch episode 2 with diligence. Don't speed watch, so at least you have that full, then make your decision.
Okay, I can commit to that. But after that, see, I'm a speed watching fool. That's what I'm doing. Because there's so many other shows. I'm still watching Reborn Rich. Like, talk about a show that's delivering. That's really delivering, okay? Come on now. There are other shows. I'm watching 2 family dramas, Reborn Rich. Oh, and you guys, if you all have not checked it out, check out our video where we talk about our December watch list, because then you'll see all the other dramas that we're currently watching. Is there anything else, Ray?
No. If you all have any strong feelings, opinions, thoughts, even some fill-ins for our holes, please help us out. Comment, like, subscribe, tell us what you're thinking.
Thank you. Yes. Save us. Anyway, I am something else with
Song Ray. Bye.